ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Nigeria. I can't hear your shout. All the way from Nigeria, the one and only Jim Iyke. Give it up, come on.
Wow. I didn't know whether to break dance or just stand aside and watch this. Hi, what's going on? My peoples. Listen, I love the energy from these guys. You know, when the music was going on, the rapper, they came out, and I know, make some noise, some people. Yeah, that is the energy. That is the sound of success. People that are excited to learn, people that are excited to meet people that are open-minded to embrace different cultures, to start new beginnings, to shift the paradigm of how they think, how they see, how they hear, how they perceive, how they react to situations. So as you've noticed, I didn't come with slides or algorithms or patterns or written scripts. I like to do this differently. That is not to say that when you follow a certain pattern, it doesn't work. It does work. Believe me. But I'm just different. So I said what I wanted to do was an interactive session because it would tailor your needs, your questions specifically to how you want to live. And then I can answer from the wealth of experience that I think I've garnered over the years that hopefully will set you on a new course, a new path to realizing your dreams. When Pastor B, forgive me, that's what I call him, said, hey, Jim, I need you to come out here, speak to my friends, my people. I said, I don't know if I'm best suited for this. But he said, yeah, that I think you're best suited. Ladies and gentlemen, I've lived a certain different life. Sometimes I think I'm 100 years old. And then there are days I wake up, I think I've lived the life of 10 people. I've been through ups and downs in my life. I've been to the bottom too many times than I can recount. And thankfully, by the grace of God, we don't look like what we've been through. It's only grace. It's only grace. So first of all, I want to express my humility, my gratitude for inviting me. I know there are an area of many stars, many celebrities, many socialites, many famous people across the world you could have invited to share your stage, but yet you chose Jim Iyke. I will impart to you what I know. Hopefully, it will change something in your life that you need most. I will learn from you in that bargain, because when I stand to say what I know, I don't come from the point of view of a tutor alone. I also come as a student. Because when we're done today, I would have learned a lot about you, and you in turn will learn a lot about me. There are three kinds of people you will meet in the course of your journey, young people. I'm addressing this because I think some of us have met these guys already. The first type are poor people. They are poor by the way they think, the way they react to situations. So these guys are people that are totally vested on the immediacy. what they can get immediately. I've had PAs that think like that. I've had mentors even back in the day that think like that. I've had people that have met a measure of success in their lives, and because of how they think, they put a ceiling to their advancement. They also think like that. They're about what they can get immediately. You owe me money. I want money in my pocket. They chase money, they chase and chase money with a certain obsession, a relentless obsession. They push every man to, they will offend anybody, they will burn any bridge. They would take it to the extreme when you owe them. All they want is money in their pocket to solve their immediate need. All they want is that paper currency, money in their pocket. And so their need never ends. They keep chasing money. They keep chasing it like an obsession. The second type of people you meet are the rich. So they are fixated on acquiring status symbols. Everything they do in their life is vested on the kind of houses they can show off to their friends or to the world, the kind of cars they drive, what they wear, kind of wristwatches they wear. I mean, a lot of us here, sometimes even a present company is guilty as charged. We just want to show people how successful we are by what we've acquired in life. So we'll work for it, we'll relentlessly pursue our lifelong pursuits to gain these status symbols. As we acquire them, we vet to get more. And in that order, all we do is show these things off. We're exhibitionists. The ostentatious lifestyle never ends. We keep chasing, we keep showing up for one singular reason alone. That is to show that you're rich. Then the third people, the kind of people that I think I have become, that I've vet to become, are the wealthy people. These are people that live predominantly on ideas. They live for it. They think it. They sleep it. They eat it. They will convert any relationship with anybody that can give them ideas. They will live with anybody. They would tolerate anybody that has ideas. Because ideas, these are what solves the problems of the world. And once you solve one problem, therein lies the wealth. So these are people that embrace everything that consecrates around ideas. We should sort this kind of people, make friends with this kind of people, because these are the only kind of people that will advance your cause in every form and shape of your dream. The people that live for ideas. Now, the one thing that I want to do is have a conversation with you, because in so doing, I'll be able to know how to react or how to answer certain questions that you have. I think I asked for people to be at different points of the room, okay, so we can start. I'm talking about fielding questions on every subject matter under the sun. You ask, and to the best of my abilities, I will answer. Can we start, please? This is the interactive session that I spoke about. So let's start. Who has a question? Wow. You don't waste time, do you, sir?
This is actually a question I'd wish to ask.
What's your name, sir? I'm so sorry.
My name is Solomon.
Nice to meet you, Solomon.
My question is, did you have to become a bad boy to be able to play the role you play in movies?
Did I have to become,
a bad boy?
A proud boy.
Bad
boy.
Yes. To be able to play the roles you play in movies, because when we were young, we used to watch you doing all the bad things in the movies.
Wow.
So I just want to know.
Well, I wasn't expecting that question. I expected something from another angle. But be that as it may, that is what we're here for. I don't think anybody goes out to intentionally become bad. You know, I don't think you wake up in the morning and say, today I am going to be bad for the world to see how bad I am. No, I think a lot of people, there's a certain translation emotion that is lost in a lot of people as regards my job description. It is, at the end of the day, a job. You understand? It's just a job that I happen to be extremely good at. So if you had a certain conviction when you see my movies that I am bad, well, I suppose there's a degree of bad in everybody. Yeah, so no, it wasn't intentional. There was a metamorphosis that was going down in Nollywood at that time. It's called typecasting. So it so happens that the first few films I made were bad roles, right? And I happened to have lived up to the billing so much so that producers, you know, they're very superstitious lot back in the day. Whatever sells, they latch onto it and decide to make it an enterprise of sorts. So a few bad roles, they decided that one is exceptionally good at that. So let's offload all the bad roles on him. And I couldn't complain because I was starting out my career. I didn't have a say at that point. You go with emotion. We're going to come to all that later as to how to develop a certain work ethos in your life, how to develop a certain schedule, how to enhance, and of course, when to say no in your life. Some people say no too early in their life, and that's when it becomes a question of ego. Some people say no at the right time in their life, and that's when it becomes a question of wisdom. So we will differentiate all that, we'll demarcate all that as we go. But yes, I hope that answered your question, sir. I'm not bad. I'm the greatest guy you've made. Trust me, man. But don't test me, though. All right, so can somebody ask me a little more organic questions as to why we're here?
Thank you. I'm Prosper.
What's the name, sir?
Prosper. Prosper.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
As a succeeding question to that of Mr. Solomon, I want to know, did those roles really leave any character trait in your life which, moving on, had made you leave them positively or negatively?
It's echoing some what I wanted to catch it at some point. Could you repeat the question, please?
All right. As a succeeding question to that of Mr. Solomon's, did those roles you play in the movies leave any kind of character trait in your life, which, moving on, you find yourself or you stumbled in leaving them as your personality?
It's a very good question. So there's something in my industry called the characterization that a lot of people are not aware of. I'll give you an example. Mr. Day-Lewis, he happens to be one of the greatest thespians of our time, is of English extract. He's an English actor. I think he's won the highest number of Oscars in our job. Okay. On his third Oscar, his wife was sitting up front like you are right now, and he said to her, "Thank you, my dear, for taking me in all those years. Because every night, a different man came to your bed. And in all those nights, you managed all of them. So my greatest accolade goes to you." I'll interpret it. Roles has a way of being a part of you. If you're a method actor like I am, you leave your role. I leave it. So within the time when I'm playing one of those twisted characters, my household knows to stay away from my path. I promise you. Even my son senses it sometimes. I mean, he's so good at sensing it, it's ridiculous. So you have to stay within the ambience of that mood, that sentiment. If I'm playing a dark character and I'm happy-go-lucky all the time, hanging around, having fun, it will be hard for you to make the transition every time on set. So you stay dark, you stay within that mode, so you can execute the character. So many times, a lot of actors take these things to work, these sentiments to work, to their homes. And they find it hard to come out of it. Okay, so there are traits that go with you. I've pretty much played every character trait that is easily imaginable. And yes, at some point, your archives, your mental archives especially, become like a filter. You sieve the good from the bad. I've retained those qualities I think that's very good, that pushes me, that advances my cause, makes me a better person, makes me far more emotionally intelligent than others. So, yes, you leave a part of what you act. It's inevitable. You can't avoid it. So, naturally, you sieve the good from the bad. Thank you. Yes, sir. Are we going to give a chance to the guys up to ask questions at some point?
Please, I'm
Okay.
right.
I'm just stating, basically. Okay, sir, go ahead. Go ahead, I'm with you. I'm with you. My apologies. I was just making a point. No, hold on. Could somebody give... Oh, somebody else is with the mic. I apologize. We'll come right back to you, yeah?
Please, I'm right. And my question is actually in two folds. How did you discover your purpose? That's the first question. And how did you master it?
Discovering your talent is a whole different mantle, my brother, because I stumbled on it, really. I was broke. I didn't like being broke. I wanted to be rich. And they said, be famous is the easiest way. It's also the most gullible reason to start anything in your life. It's the easiest reason. It's also the most superficial reason. I found my depth much later. I'm telling you, like, some 8-9 years down my career. But in the beginning, the whole point was to be rich and famous. You understand? I wasn't caught up for the 9 to 5. I'd graduated very early in my life. I was barely 19 when I got my first degree. Quickly got my postgraduate. When I pleaded my cause with my father, I said, hey, Daddy, I want to act. My dad touched my forehead and said, it seems this fever that worries you all the time is back. Seriously. And then the ensuing argument that followed back to back, the man said, listen, there's no cause. If you were some dull student, it's different. But you are utterly brilliant. I was always first. I know every parent says this and every big brother. When they say I'm always first of my class, well, it's true in my case. That's what made my case even harder for my parents to accept. The fact that I was really good in school. So what is the problem? You're not struggling in school. Why do you want to go join this group of loafers, as they were perceived then? But as Jay-Z said, you can only be sure once. There's no second guessing it. There's no tongue-in-cheek expression of what you want to be, of your purpose. When you speak about it, I was sure. I didn't want to do banking and finance. It was a beautiful course. I didn't want to pursue something in psychology. That was even far more respectable as at that time. I wanted to be an actor. I was sure once. And I was ready to weather the storm that came with it, including my parents kicking me out of the house. So I left home for 2 years. I couldn't come back home. But in all that time, I knew that I was right. I knew that this is the only thing that would give me joy. I had friends that were in school with me that advanced their course, because the natural pattern my parents wanted was, after your postgraduate, you're done by 19, by 21, you're done with your postgraduate, master's at 23 at best. By 26, 27, you have your doctorate. And then you go head one of those Fortune 500 companies, buy us a big house and Rolls Royce, and everybody is happy. So I flipped the script. And they weren't happy with it. The whole understanding about it is that be careful what you set your children or people that look up to you, the course you set them on. Is it a course that truly makes them happy? Is it what they will embrace for life, like a lifelong pursuit? and they're best suited for it, the entirety of their being. It took me a few years to understand that this was what God created me to be. This was the pursuit that I was to make of life. And after a few years, I had another conversation with my dad. And I said, the plan was always different. I didn't even understand it. I didn't even understand. And I joined the industry, as you all well know, when things weren't that lucrative, so to speak. It wasn't that prosperous. Okay? The light at the end of that tunnel was quite dim. And the harder you walk, the dimmer it became. And that's the funny thing about it. And then I was pitted against the challenges of people I went to school with, finished far earlier than them. I was far smarter than, well, God for it, but that's the truth in school. And they were doing so well financially. So there was always a point of regret in my home when they say, oh, look at him. He's advanced his course, he's doing so well, he's the MD of that company, and you're still telling me that you're struggling for roles somewhere. But I knew what I wanted for myself. And I knew that if I chased it to the end, every other thing would add up. The company ownership my father always aspired, I own it or co-own it. Every other thing that he pointed at and said, your friends or colleagues or people you went to school with, this is the end result of what they would have achieved. I believe I'd achieved it and superseded it. I'd become 10 sons in one based on one conviction alone. The understanding that this was my purpose in life. So you can be sure once. There's no second guessing it. And once you're sure once, forgive me, no parent, no pastor, no friend, nobody that exists in your world or coexists must tell you differently and you listen. Chase your dreams. It's really that simple. There's no algorithm about it. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. Once you're fixated on that, I'm telling you, it's only you that know. There's nobody that will tell you differently. Only you know that this is what I want to do. So you have to dream. It is in that space, that nucleus, that you have to create your dream. Create that dream as big as it is, as it possibly can. If you go to sleep dreaming about a certain endeavor you're undertaking, and you think you have the skill set, and you're totally comfortable sleeping at night while you're having this dream, my brother, slap yourself and wake up again. Then take sleeping pills and go back to sleep. Your dream, that is the entirely wrong dream. Your dream should scare you. Your dream should make you dumbfounded. You should be unable to explain your dreams to your friends because they will not believe you. They will not support you. You must find it extremely difficult to explain your dreams to people that love you and you love them in return. They are not meant to understand it. I sat down one day, I think 2 days before I left, I called a family meeting and I told my parents and my entire family that this is what I want to do. I really feel in my bones everything about it. I mean, that was a 19-and-a-half-year-old version of me. I told them this is what I want to do. So these are the area of expressions that, and my dad said, listen, you're going to waste your life away. There's absolutely nothing there. There's no potentials. Look at people that have done it before you, people that are doing it now, people that are projected to do in the next 5 years. There's nobody with financial independence amongst them. And my sisters were crying like, okay, this is the war other families have been experiencing that's coming to our home now. Because the only son of the family, I have 6 sisters, by the way, I was the only son. And if you're of Eastern extract in Nigeria, you understand that the child, the first son, the entire dream frame of reference in the family is vested on you alone. So if you falter or you blunder, you are taking down the entire structure of the family with you. They invest everything. The father will sell land, will sell private things, will get uncomfortable raising money to give you the best of everything you want so that you can carry on the family name with dignity. So imagine when I came back and I said, I wanted to act. At some point, my dad said, why didn't you even tell me this earlier? I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of putting you through school. All those elite schools I put you in, I would have just dumped you at home or found somebody. I mean, you would have told me so I wouldn't have to invest this far. Why are you telling me after the second degree? You would have told me after your secondary school. So I was looking at my dad like, really? The 14-year-old version of me is supposed to know what I want in life? But that was the point. That argument passed, and I started chasing my dream. But I chased it alone, so it was extremely difficult. I went under through circumstances that it's not for discussion in this room, but ta-da, I did win at the end. And that's what's important. So you can only be sure once, my brother.
Great.
Okay.
So we have our online family members.
Yeah.
So if you want to send a message, please go ahead and send your message. You can send in your questions. Jim will answer. Just send them online as you're viewing. I have another question here.
So let's acknowledge some of them who are also part of it so they don't feel left out. Mami Adom Akenton says, Jemaik's a great speaker. Fosina Asabel says, chase your dreams and be ambitious about it while focusing. Raphael says, very good program. And this one over here says, why did you
I can't
like
hear you.
that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
They're all online comments, not questions for you for now.
Okay, can we take them one at a time? So that
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay.
So this is just those who are watching online and contributions on that. So we'll take some of the online questions a bit later, but go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Thompson.
Hi,
I realized that, Thompson, I realized that you've actually worked with a lot of people and across the world. What has friendship done for you?
What?
What has relationship done for you?
Relationship is everything, sir. Trust me. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are and what you're likely to become in the next 5 years. It's a promise. It's not juju. I'm not some medium. I'm not a spiritualist, but I'll get it down to the T, the exact predictions of what you're to become in the next 5 years. So to garner a relationship is the wealth we're all here gathered talking about. At the end of the day, if I didn't have a relationship with Pastor B, he wouldn't be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, come. And I'll leave everything I'm doing, and I'll come. It was born out of respect, a certain reciprocal, because I know in the event that I need him, he will come. No questions asked. I don't have to know him for 10 years to respect him, to regard all his visions and his purpose, to make it coexist with mine, to connect with mine. So everything I've done came out of relationships. There are few countries I can name in the world that I can go to at this moment, and I won't find one person or the other that's ready to host me. So 2 weeks ago, we did 3 countries in a row. He knows, I finished about 5 a.m., jumped on the 9 o'clock flight to come out here, no sleep for 2 days. We did 3 countries back to back. We did Dubai, we did Dar es Salaam, we did Kigali, then back to Lagos, yeah? And I took a small group of business partners. We had investments set up in 4 countries. What I wanted to do was just go there, introduce them to the powers that be, lay the plan, and then the lawyers and all the other people that we hire would take over. So it was important that we made this trip. But then the concern was, one of the major financiers, his concern was that he's one of those men that everything has to walk to the T. It's used to a certain lifestyle. So his concern was, we need to call, we need to book, we need to move ahead, cars have to be ready, PAs, and I told him, don't worry. I got this. You don't have to worry about anything. But every airport that we stopped, there was a chauffeur-driven car, there was a PA present, the hotel accommodation were not messed up, every meeting was held in place, our objectives, our aim in each country was realized far beyond our imaginations, and we left accolades for me because there was no phone call in their presence that was done. I just knew that I had trusted people in each of the countries that would undertake each of this. And so we went from country to country until we finished in Lagos, and he sat down and said, you know what? I don't want to see the paperwork. I just want to sign. And I think that was born out of the kind of relationship I've garnered all through my career. The fact that if I have business in Ghana, I pick up the phone and say, my brother B, listen, man, I'm coming with some business partners. I don't know where to stay. I need airport pickup and all that. The man makes 2 phone calls here in London. I'll be sorted. It's a relationship. If he's coming to Nigeria, he doesn't have to prepare for anything. He doesn't even need money in his pocket. It's a promise. He just calls me, and he does. It's not. You understand me? It's a straight thing. Hey, I'm thinking. He just has to think about it, and I'll make it happen. That is the kind of relationship. Who said it's coming next week? Oh.
Okay,
you have to think it. We're telepathy like that. You just think it, and I'll pick you up at the airport. I'm not sending anybody.
Okay, my follow-up has to be, how do you manage disappointment coming from very close friends?
How do I manage disappointment coming from where? So betrayal is a part of life. We talked about how to react to situations. When you're betrayed, the way I reacted 5 years ago is different from how I react now. I believe I've grown exponentially far more emotionally intelligent now than 5 years before now. 5 years before now, my natural instinct would have been to go after you and make your life as miserable as possible for crossing me. It is what happens, okay? Because then my life was ruled in black and white. I love as much as I dislike. I'm fiercely loyal, and of course, every one of us that's on that path, you understand a certain vindictiveness that comes with it. But now, I exist in a certain gray area, a place where if something happens to you, you pause for a second and think, reevaluate, then react differently. This is, I believe, the man that I've always wanted to be, that I didn't understand how to become that person. So disappointment abound, betrayals abound. If you're not getting disappointed or betrayed in your life, my brother, you're stuck in one spot. You're not doing anything of significance. Because that's part of it. The envy comes with it, the betrayal comes with it, and it's going to come from the people that know you best. No stranger can harm you. Nobody outside your circle can harm you. It's the people inside, the inner carcass, the ones you eat and drink with. Those are the ones that have the power to understand how to hurt you. But how do you take it? I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, there's somebody that's been with me for 6 years. He's been stealing from me, and he thinks I don't know about it. Well, I didn't know. My biggest problem has been how to get rid of him, how to fire him. Because this person have learned me to a T. He was my road manager. He understands me, my mood swings, my creative process, everything I do. Before I get into a country is done. I don't have to lift a finger. How can you get rid of that kind of person that's so valuable to your team? But he doesn't understand that concept is totally lost on the fact that he steals from me all the time. You know, say we're on a press run, for instance, on a media run. Nigeria, we do things differently. After each house, each media house, you're required to give them what you call thank you for coming package. So my close friend would take my thank you for coming package, half it, give his half thank you for coming package, and then line his pocket with the other half. Producers will approach me for films. My friend would tell them that you are number 30. I'm just giving you a wide example. You're so way down the line, he's not likely to do your movie for the next 2 years. So they will say, okay, what is the solution? The solution is pay into my account. I'll bump you up to number 2 or 3. I knew nothing outside my circle. It is what they tell me that I do, literally. So they will come to me and say, this person has been on the waiting list for the past 2-3 months. We're doing this next. I don't question it because they take care of everything, including the negotiations. I just set the benchmark as to what I will take and what I will not take. So everybody I encountered, so we were getting a lot of ill feeling, burning bridges, stepping on different people's toes. And this consistently happened until recently. I mean, there was something he did recently that took a lot from me. And I sat down and I said, you know what? I've been going through a certain illusion, self-imposed illusion by myself. I knew this has been happening, and I just refused to come to terms with it. Totally refused. There's a part of you that can switch off so that you can exist, so that you can survive, so you can contain, so that you can tolerate. It is wrong. Once your instincts kick in as to something that is not right, and trust me, we're all born with it. My instincts are usually razor sharp with everybody. And that is one thing that taught me, is that I never make judgment when I'm dealing with people. If I want to engage you in any capacity in the world, I will not think of the fact that I like you or I dislike you. That already will make my decision biased. So if I like you too much, the chances is that I'm going to be so heavily weighed in on my emotions, I'm not going to take the right decisions. If I don't like you, that obviously means that I'm going to take a bad decision. So why don't I take my decision based on totally what I perceive you to be, what my instincts tell me about you, irrespective of my sentiments or feelings about you. So that is what transpired here, to a point where I came to terms with it. I had a soliloquy with myself and sat down and told myself, you're lying to yourself. I'm telling you, the greatest lie you tell to anybody is a lie to self. And I told myself, you know this person has been robbing you blind. You love this person. You will take a bullet for this person. But this person has been totally adverse to your cause. It is time to let this person go. As soon as I took that decision, settled them as I thought somebody that has been with me, served my cause for years would, and I let him go. It was like a big weight went off my shoulder, brought in a different set of people to man his position, because he got his whole team also involved in his scams and his schemes. Things changed differently. I'm telling you, it just took few weeks, things changed for the better. So yes, betrayal is part of it. How to react to it is also part of it.
I got to say this a minute.
We have two people here, so let me take the ladies on first.
Okay, Rosalind,
If you
please,
don't mind.
a minute. Let me
Okay.
just stay. So we have to take 2 questions because of time. And someone online said, for iYES, we are actually very intentional with the speakers that we bring, with being politics, entertainment, business. So since you're an actor, someone is asking, what advice would you give to a young person wanting to go into acting at this time, and how would you advise them to go about it?
We spoke about with the gentleman that asked a question earlier about the kind of decision you're taking. Don't be, well, let's be specific to our answers now. Let's tailor-make it. Don't be an actor because you think it's a glamorous job, because you're going to be so woefully disappointed when you come in. There's nothing glamorous about it. When you sit up 2-3 a.m. in the morning filming, or you're made to repeat a certain part 20 times over, or somebody says something totally sadistic about you online because they don't know you enough, every part of your life is open in the court of public opinion to be judged. They become your judge and jury. Then maybe you have a rethink. It's also another reason to be totally vested in it, to understand that this is really what I want to do. So yes, it's okay to say you want to be one. How to go about it is to convince yourself first. After I get down on my knees and I ask my maker why to find my part, because every day you discover new things about you. When I leave this room and I step out, I'm going to discover something that I picked up from here. There's something new. I've changed. I'm in motion. I've transited. I'm not the same person that stood here. So when you are done having that understanding with your maker and God is first, the second is the absolute belief in you, nobody else. There's no mistakes about it when I walk into a room. Whether I was 10 years old or even now, it doesn't matter. I don't let you see any other person but who I really am. In that order, I ask that you trust and believe in yourself above anything else below God. After God, it's not your parents, it's not your friends, it's not the mentor, it's not the person with the opportunities that will avail it, that will open the doors for you. It is you. If you believe in yourself enough, there's no door you cannot open. No door. And I believe it. I stood once in front of an area of elite producers and stars and social, just everybody that made up the entirety of the power structure of our industry. And I wanted to say something, and they kept saying, oh, let another person. I was a young actor then. And I said something that a lot of people still consider abominable to this day, and I'm about to say it again. And I asked them, because every one of them got up and said, oh, I made that person. Every star of consequence came under somebody. Oh, I gave this person their first chance. I did this for that person. Without me, you won't do this thing. So we're having a battle between actors and producers at that time. Apparently, we got banned because they said I engineered and orchestrated a group that was asking for too much money. Isn't that ridiculous? So apparently, our producers were becoming multi-millionaires, and the actors, not me, guys that were slightly lower, were struggling. And so I called the group and I said, we need to change the structure. Without us, they don't exist. We are the ones the fans know. We're the ones with the gift and the talent. Why would they be earning more than us? Why is there no balancing skill, some sort of skill where at least something could be measured, barometer by which they will say at least we're doing well? Why is the gap so distinct? Why is there a total disconnect in the wealth appraisal between us and them? So I said everybody should start asking for more money. So they got together and banned me for 2 years. And when they banned us for 2 years, they brought a new crop of actors to take our place. Check the history. Totally relatable story you can find in our archives. So these new guys they brought could not make the billing. They weren't making enough money. The fans totally rejected them. They could not make the 1 million sales, 2 million sales that we were snapping out of our repertoire with our movies. So they came back to bring us back. Isn't God wonderful? They brought us back. On the negotiating table, everybody had something to say. I made you. Without me, you wouldn't have been that. I give you your first chance. My colleagues kept quiet because everybody had a leaning, had somebody to point out to say, without you, I wouldn't have been whatever it is I became. So I said one thing, and I said, can somebody in this room stand up and truthfully claim that without them, that I wouldn't have come up? Not one person. Not one person. Because I knew how I started it. I knew the belief that I had. The belief base that I had. It was totally, I just fixated on God, refused to do small roles. For the first 2-3 years of my career, I couldn't do a major role because they kept giving me small roles. And I refused them. I said if it's not a major or a lead, I'm not doing it. So 3 years for a guy that just left home, it's a long time to be broke. Trust me, at some point you will bend. You will compromise. You will take the little pigeons. But my self-value was way too high. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything. I just knew that this is the standard I set, and I wasn't going to relent it, not for anybody, not even for myself. So no matter what I was going through, it's just a question of time. It has to be understood in this room that whatever you're going through is just a question of time. The overriding factor is your total belief in yourself. And so my day came one day. Some of the most established stars had gone for an event in London called Afro Hollywood. And so there was a space, a vacancy of top male stars for film. They went there, stayed longer than they planned, stayed over a month. So they said, okay, there was a vacancy. How are we going to fill it? We need to make movies. These guys are not coming back. But there were female leads. So they said, okay, you know what? Where's that guy, that funny boy with a funny accent that's always rejecting small roles? Go bring him. Let's make do with him for a few days before the big boys come back. So they brought little me. Dumped me there, paid me peanuts. Trust me, you don't want to know how much these guys were paying me. I've received as much as 15 to 20,000 naira for lead. In dollars, let me explain it. It's less than $30, $40, or maybe $50 at worst. So they brought me back. I did 4 films, being paid peanuts. Every time I was paid peanuts, something was wrong with the wardrobe. I would spend out of that little money because I had to look right. That's one thing, when the opportunity meets, okay, your preparation. I was always prepared. It was almost like I lived all my life waiting for this chance. And when it came, we wrote 4 films. I spent 80% of what I was paid looking right for the film. So all my earlier films you saw, that was me buying the wardrobe out of my pocket. I finished those 4. The big boys came back. They kicked me out again and stuck with the big names. But lo and behold, all 4 films came out, all over 1 million sales. So they had no choice. They came back for me to say, okay, you know what, you can come back. We'll see that you really deserve a place here. And I charged them 1 million per script after that. It was that simple. Your chance will come if you understand you.
Thank you so much, sir. My name is Karen.
Yes, ma'am.
You spoke about people in your earlier presentations. And you
I spoke about people, I'm so sorry.
People, types of people would meet in life. And then you spoke about the people that live for ideas, and you advise that we try to be with those people.
Hello?
Hello?
Is it time to run out of the room?
Okay. So you told us to try and be with people like that, people who are like-minded, people who always want to get ideas to make change. I'm asking, with somebody in a community or born in a society where they don't have people who have those ideas to reach to that peak, to reach to that echelon, there are places where there are no competition with anybody. What advice do you give to that person?
Improvise.
How?
We all improvised. What did I have to create mine? I will explain it. When we started, I had 2 friends. You see these 2 guys, these are the friends you need all your life. You need people that believe in you. You need people that believe in you. I repeat it. You need people that believe in you. Look at the eyes of the friends, the people you have right now. Do they believe in you? Okay? That is the whole point. You see these 2 guys, they believed in me. We understood something. My talent, gifts, without hard work is nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you don't go to elevate your talent, your gifts, it is nothing. I met these guys in school. We came together, we finished serving, and they couldn't get a job the first 1-2 years. So I called them and said, you know what, you be my manager. Imagine me asking a guy to be my manager and I hadn't earned a dime in my career. It took self-belief. I said, you become my PA. So together, every day, we'll concoct ideas. We lived on our dreams. Our dreams thrived on ideas. That was all we had. We didn't have money, we didn't have connections, we didn't have nothing. As a matter of fact, we were even rejected in our realms. We were deemed too arrogant, too loafish. You know, we were deemed like we had superiority complex, but we understood the assignment. The assignment was the fact that we believed in each other. So what we did was that we push our mantle together, and we believed, and every time they would say, okay, you know what, let me approach these people, let me talk to these producers. They kept creating chances. They kept pushing. We kept praying together. But our understanding was that we will not accept small roles. We will convert relationship with young producers that saw the light in us, saw the next generation in us, saw the next stars in us. And that's how we kept pushing it. We pushed to a point where people started seeing us. You have to believe. Believe is everything. Your dream is everything. And the conviction of that is what carries you through. Not everybody is born with a silver spoon. Not everybody is born with a big last name. But a lot of people have made it. The whole status quo of old rich or old money has been totally demystified right now. Millennials are making it everywhere. People are sitting in the confines of their garage or home and becoming millionaires. What makes you think that you really need people to make it, that you need to have a certain caliber of people to make it in this life? It's a fallacy. It's been demystified a long time ago. This generation has even made a rubbish of it even more. The new cadre of rich, name the first 20 richest men, they were all self-made.
Hello?
Hello? Wow. Hello? Okay. All right. So directly to your question, my dear, please don't look at your background. Don't look at your last name. Don't look at what's happening around you. As I exist, I'll tell you how I do it. I am deaf, blind, mute to what every other person is doing around me. I don't care. My agenda is my purpose. It is the people around me. Those are the people I carry my thing with. I don't care if somebody's buying a Rolls Royce next to me. I don't care if somebody has $200 million next to me. It doesn't matter. It's never mattered to me. The point is that, am I putting in my best every day? Do I wake up every day imbued with my dreams and my aspirations? Am I working hard to that goal? Am I being a great father, uncle, brother, friend to people around me? Am I serving humanity in a certain cause with my gifts? These are questions you ask yourself. It's not about, latching on to some ready-made background before you make it in life. No, my dear, it doesn't work that way anymore. Have ideas. Make sure the ideas are authentic and they will serve humanity in some cause, or at least, at the very least, solve a problem. Believe in it. Chase it. Pray about it every day. Give it up to God. He's the maker of all things. At the end of the day, surround yourself with people that really believe in you. I keep hammering on it because I know that I wouldn't have been nothing without those two guys. We dreamt together. We staffed together. We pushed our agenda together. We became successful together. Then they veered off to handle other things. We own 4 businesses together. We remain steady friends together because we've been through the highs and the lows. Who are the people around you? Who are the people that are telling you in your ear that you can't become on earth because you don't have the right last name or don't belong to the right family? I think it's a lie. The truth is really simple.
All right. I think finally, you just released your latest book.
Yes, sir.
Can you please talk about it?
During the course of the pandemic, my son and I, we found ourselves in Paris. He wanted to go to Disney. I was a spoiling Dortmund fan, and I thought, hey, man, let's hang out. We got to Paris. The whole world shut down. It was the middle of the pandemic, and everything shut down literally. We ended up spending 6 months in Paris without going home. So in that time, children, they're resilient. They are easy to, they're social butterflies. It was getting on well, making friends up and down. I'm the adult that was forced to stay in one space, and I was struggling with depression. as we all were at that time. And at that time, I decided everything I've experienced in my life brought me to this point. I've become totally fearless in everything I do. This is the first time in a long time in my life I was expressing fear, feeling fear for him, for me, for the world. So I didn't know what to do. So in the middle of that, I needed to take that emotion, translate it, and put it somewhere. And that's what birthed this book, The Gift and the Odds. How to find your gifts in every odd part of your life. I wrote 15 series of this book. It's subtitled in each one. This is Walking Through Walls. We wrote about different areas of subjects under the sun, how to deal with grief, how to deal with love, how to do startups. You can find it on the different platforms from Amazon. It's an ebook series. I think it's really something everybody needs to read to understand your purpose, to understand how to deal with it, understand how to circumvent circumstances in your life. As a black man, we have very unique problems, especially if you traverse the world. You understand. You dress the wrong way, end up in first class, you'll be misjudged. You end up in the different class of circle, you'll be misjudged. You'll be profiled at every turn and everywhere you go. So you need to understand how to deal with different aspects of life. And I think that is what I wrote about.
So how can we get a copy?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. We have it on Amazon Kindle. We have it on Apple Books, on Kobo. All the ebook stream platforms, you have it. And you can also get a hard copy from there. We release a new series every 2 months. This is the first. Yeah.
All right. Let's clap our hands. Let's give it up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
A minute. I think on Wednesday, you told me you'll do anything for me. Right.
I think I'm in trouble now.
Right.
Well, literally.
You promised me in the presence of Pastor Eastwood.
Yeah.
So.
I said you're a hard man to say no to.
Okay, but I need a favor.
I hear you, sir.
I want to give you a script right now for you to act it. So, this is the script. Let's say, okay, Rosalind, come. Rosalind, it's your wife, and you cheated on her, and she caught you, and you were apologizing. Whilst you were apologizing, your side chick came, acted.
Let the side chick come at you. We have to have a complete picture now. Okay. So she's my wife.
Nancy, come here. Nancy,
we need a side chick.
Nancy.
God forbid you will never be a side chick in Jesus' name. But can't be the side chick temporarily.
Let me help you.
Okay. It will never happen, but you make a really good side chicks with her. Just come. Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? Nice to meet you, Nancy. What's your name there? Rosalind. All right.
Action.
Yeah, production manager.
Okay.
Okay, so we need we need a mic for the wife as well. You know, this is putting you on the spot. I get paid well for these things, but here's this man getting it for free.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so Rosalind, you have caught him cheating. So act it.
So I'm obviously with the side chick. Okay, so we're walking into some establishment, hotel, and you caught me. Funny enough, I just finished the film with the exact same scenario 4 days ago. Let's go. Yeah, exact. On the road. We turned Lagos upside down playing that part. So, I mean, this is what, like...
Action.
Baby.
What are you doing here with her?
What is my new...
What, you're lost for words?
No,
Who's
babe.
she?
That's my new secretary,
She's
actually,
your secretary.
babe.
How come I don't know her?
Huh? No, babe, talk.
What's she supposed
Nancy,
to say?
talk. You're my new secretary. I was interviewing her.
Where? And
So-
what were you saying?
So we wanted to go have dinner in that
There's
place.
no space in your office to interview her.
No, it had to. I wanted to see her on her down.
Excuse
No,
me, madam.
Nancy, you can't go now. Nancy,
can't-
wait, wait.
stand
This
here.
is my wife, Nancy. You've not met my wife.
Okay, so you come here. If I'm your wife, you come here.
Okay, this
Yes.
is my wife, Nancy.
Now talk to her.
Please be polite to madam. Say good afternoon.
Hello, madam.
Nancy, greet my madam very well, or you won't get the job.
Good afternoon, ma.
Okay. You see,
Good
that's
afternoon. So she's
Baby, I
your-
told you I will never cheat on you. Why would I cheat on you?
Really?
But the good, baby. What's all this thing?
Clap your hands. Give it up for Jim. Aye. All right, well done, bro. Come on, let's rise on your feet. Thank you.